Okay, let's do this. So, Mountain Blade 2, a Bannerlord is possibly getting a full release / console release on the 25th of October. If you guys haven't already, check out my video where I take a look at a few of the leaks. Again, TechWorlds have not confirmed or denied this yet, but I thought it'd be interesting to basically go in and start taking a look at features of the game that I don't particularly vibe with, or things that I just wish could change. I'm not talking about these like massive overhauls that I'd want to see in the game, like a massive mechanic like diplomacy or something. I'm talking about things that could just quite easily be fixed, and some stuff that is already in the game that just needs some tweaking. And the first thing I thought we would do today is talk a bit about battles. Now, battles for the most part, are what they say. You get these huge engagements, you throw yourself in, you're fighting as a soldier, you're commanding many troops. However, one thing that really grinds my gears when I am commanding a big 500-man army is the way that the AI, or the lack of command that you have as a player, but these huge kind of diverse abilities that the AI has when you give your soldiers over to them. So what I mean by that is basically, as you'll be able to tell when we do dive into this battle, right now I've got my soldiers set up right here, and for example, I think cavalry is by far the best example of this, because it is actually extremely difficult for the player to go ahead and utilize cavalry efficiently. Most of the time you can do some good charges, but that's really where it ends. It's quite hard to go ahead and continue on using cavalry efficiently in the battle. So most of the time what I'll do, because I'm busy commanding the front lines or the archers, is I'm going to give over the cavalry because I feel like they're so micro intensive. I'll generally give these over to the AI. So what I'll do is I'll select them, I'll press F6 to delegate command, and then all of a sudden you'll see the AI doing a whole wealth of stuff. If you look in the bottom left hand corner of the screen right now, you have the cavalry are protecting the left flank. And that's awesome. They've also gone ahead and split up. As soon as I click play, they'll go ahead, and if I unpause it really quickly, you'll see when this command goes off, the AI has also split my cavalry up as well, and now they're also protecting the right flank. And this is a really cool feature. I love that the AI is going ahead and taking command, and they're kind of protecting either flanks and splitting my cavalry into two to protect the right and also left flank. However, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to give over my soldiers to the AI, but still have an influence on the grand battle plan. I don't think that's too crazy or something like mad to ask for from the game. Like, I want to be able, and you can see right here, cavalry are riding in the vanguard. The AI is doing all of these amazing, like really cool kind of mechanics in the game, all these cool strategies. And I would love as a player to go ahead and maybe select the cavalry, press F6, and then I get this big drop down menu of like, oh, okay, you can now tell the cavalry to protect the archers. You can now tell the cavalry to play defensive and they won't go charging into the enemy lines. Because a lot of the time, what you'll do is you'll find that the cavalry who is currently under, they actually reformed for whatever reason. I don't know quite why they've reformed. But like, I would really tell them to go off of cavalry maybe. Yeah, like I would love for the cavalry to like that, be able to, for me to be able to influence them basically. Because what's going to happen right now is now they're under air command. Okay, great. They're charging down. They're taking down these horse archers that are charging into me. And then what they're going to do is they're going to go running off and they're going to charge into the enemy formation and they're going to die. And then it's like, well, I don't want to do that, but I want the AI to have control over my army. And it's really frustrating because like they do so many good things and awesome things of protecting the flanks. But then they just take it a step too far and the AI kind of gets way too aggressive and just ends up dying. So what I would love to see is, as I said, like the ability to press F6, give over a part of your army to the AI, and then have an influence to them, whether it is cavalry, protect the flanks. So they go, okay, we're going to protect the left flank, we're going to protect the right flank. Or maybe cavalry, go aggressive. And if they go aggressive, they're going to go really push up and kind of get into the enemy's face and try and maybe hit their back line. I think that'd be such a cool feature because the AI is already doing these behaviors. It would just be nice as the commander of the army to be able to have that say over it, to say, actually, I want you guys to play ultra defensive, just stop their cavalry from rear charging me, stop their cavalry from, outflanking me. Just kind of, if the enemy cavalry get too close to my flanks, then hit them hard, but don't like overextend. Because right now, look at that. My cavalry is just going so aggressively. Like, they're just chasing their horse archers and they're getting slaughtered. They were doing so good, right? They were doing amazing things. They were protecting my right and left flank, and then they got baited in, and now they're getting massacred. And then there's nothing I can really do about that. Like, again, if they get too far and all of a sudden I decide, oh, actually, no, come back, they're going to get massacred by the horse archers as they're chasing them. So I just love the way to kind of maybe just have influence over that. The archers also have some abilities with that. Like they'll kind of like shoot and fall back a lot more aggressively. I know you can go ahead and tell them to, I think it's engage, and they'll stay at max range. But yeah, just having more abilities to that, I think would be really, really nice. And it would make battles way more interesting, especially with these larger scale engagements. Same with the horse archers as well. Being able to like dictate how aggressively they are, or, you know, kind of performing these AI behaviors would be really, really nice for sure. So cool, that's battles pretty much. Again, one thing also I'd love to be able to see is being able to order a certain group to go after a certain group of the enemy. RTS camera had that at some point, where you could literally, besides archers telling them to shoot at, I could select a unit of my cavalry, I could hover over the enemy archers and press a button, and the cavalry would solely focus down that unit. Being able to really micromanage in that detail would be great, but I'd also just take like AI behaviors at this point. You know, obviously I would love to have kind of that level of control where I could tell my infantry to focus down their infantry, or my cavalry to focus down their archers. That'd be awesome. But yeah, they're kind of the two major things in land battles that I would love to see. More influence over the AI for these larger battles, and also the ability to like kind of tell a certain unit to fight a certain unit would be really, really nice for sure. Okay, so that was battles. Now let's move on to sieges, because again, I'm kind of asking for very similar things, but I just kind of want to run you through my thought process here and talk a bit about them, because as you guys can see, I have just formed my very own kingdom. This is like a major kind of keystone in the campaign. You know, it's really important, and I'm currently fighting for my life. I have all of my lovely wife Era, I have my companions leading armies, and we are basically making our stand against a much superior army of the Valandians, but we're defending a major city, and this is make or break, right? If I lose this battle, my campaign's probably pretty much over, so of course I want to fight it. This is an epic battle, a battle that I will tell my grandchildren about, how I stood alone atop the walls, sending the enemy back. However, it is near impossible to go ahead and have any influence over this, because first things first, the AI will take control of these soldiers no matter what I do. So I could go ahead and create all these separate groups. So I'll show you. I'll go ahead and create that. I'll go ahead and create these. I'll go ahead and create these archers, and I'll set these guys up, and they will split up. The AI will take control of these groups, and they will go ahead and give them commands. As you can see, AI command is not on right now, but they will. And the thing is as well, the AI will take some soldiers from this group, some soldiers from this group, some soldiers from this group, and put them into a different group, so everybody's running around, and it's so goddamn chaotic. I can't go ahead and just like set this unit up here, because half the units will then try and come down, and they won't know what they're doing, and they'll just be moving around. So this is ultra frustrating when you're trying to manually set up a defense. Like, I could just let the AI do it, but I don't want to. This is an important battle, and I want to lead the siege. So I'll show you that in a second, because I want to kind of talk through my points of what I'd like to see for sieges. And basically, it's the same for land battles. When I go ahead and click ready, the AI will take command, and it will go ahead and do all these things. It'll be like, okay, cool, I'm going to put these men defending the gate. These go defend this part of the wall. You guys go do that. You guys go do this. Archers skirmish on these parts of the wall. And that's really cool, but I want the ability to go ahead and give them orders. Whether it is just going back to like a command table back in the back of the map, and then it kind of zooms out back to this screen, or whether or not you send messengers, which it kind of sounds a bit far-fetched. But yeah, I could totally see you having to actually manually go back to like a command table, and then it drags you back out to this screen, and you can give orders. And then just having like these little icons like this, kind of like for the artillery, which is just like defend this part of the wall. Maybe I click it, and it has a bunch of behaviors, and I can basically select group 1 and then just select the behavior I want, like this, you know, have like this part, like this section of the wall, for example, which kind of covers all of this side of the gatehouse where the siege tower is coming in. I can basically click that wall, select my group, assign the group to doing that, and then kind of maybe have a few behaviors like play defensive, go aggressive when they come up here, get ready to fall back, and then just like kind of things like that the AI already does. I think the player should totally be able to have control over that. Once again, like look at this as well. So I've got my 5 groups or whatever. I'll go ahead and click play. Again, none of these groups are under AI command. As you guys can see, not a single one of them. Again, if I'll press it just again to double check. Okay, the squad 1 is now under AI command. They're no longer on it, so you can see it's the same. No one's under AI command. I will click ready. And then all of a sudden, look, they've created a million more groups. and they're all under AI command, which is super frustrating. And as I said, the thing is, now they're all under AI command, they're all trying to do random things, like these guys are just charging down, they're getting stuck on one another, they're all in shield wall, even though I didn't stick them in shield wall. People are getting stuck. People from this section of the wall right here are now trying to get to all the way over here, and it's a bit of a mess. Like, have it so that they're all under AI command to begin the battle, but if I turn it off, then leave it off. Don't make it the other way around. Because again, I could turn it off right now, but all the groups are so messed up. As I said, there's people in like this group here that shouldn't be here and are commanding the other side of the battlefield. Like if you can see it, they're going to be rushing over, and there's people from the other group trying to rush over here. It's really, really frustrating. It really is. And something I think they need to address, because, yeah, I want to command this battle. Like, have it so that the AI is on by default, maybe. And then if I turn it off, let me command it. Don't just all of a sudden mess up my groups for no reason. It is ultra frustrating and really, really annoying. But yeah, again, like, and you can see, like, I guess, like, on these big maps, like, soldiers are all getting clumped up on one another because they're all trying to get to positions I didn't tell them to get to. And it's annoying. Like, I understand that not everybody, you know, not everybody wants to command these sieges. And for the most part, I let the AI command my sieges. But this is an important battle. We are defending our life, and I want to have influence over it. You know, I want to tell my grandchildren about the day that I held the line and I led the defense. Like, that is cool. That is what you should do if you are in command of siege battles, and that is really cool. Because at the end of the day, what it makes me do, because we don't have them options, because the AI is just, yeah, really, really stupid. You know, this is not how I set them up. What's going to happen is I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and, I mean, it might even work right now. I'm going to do this, and I win the battle. Like, this is the battle for the campaign. I just auto-resolve it because trying to fight back is so brain dead and frustrating. And if I just let the AI command it, we're probably going to lose that battle because of their sheer weight of numbers, and because I can't set up like dedicated traps and stuff like that. I can't set fullback positions. I can't, you know, do these things without it being extremely brain dead and annoying. So yeah, that's pretty much my point. You know, I would just personally like, in battles and sieges, the ability to do what the AI is already doing. Having them influences and having a menu where I can set the AI behavior, I think would be really, really nice. And I don't think it'd be too crazy just to assign some buttons to do that. As I said, in battle, you press F6, it comes down with another little circle wheel that you can then set it. Or you can maybe, if you just double press F6, it'll just kind of go back and the AI will take full command. I think that'd be a massive bonus to these battles and allow you to start employing these larger strategies, allow you to start employing like these hammer and anvils and stuff like that way more effectively. Like, as you can see, like, how anticlimactic was that battle? You know, it was kind of just ridiculous at the end of the day. And yeah, I think something that could just be dramatically improved with some you know, kind of be a bit like, lean into it. These are big battles. This isn't Warband where you have 150 men. These are 1,000-man battles. Lean into, you know, you delegating command to your lieutenants, but allowing to have influence like a commander would be great. Also, another thing as well, whilst we're here ranting, why the hell, by the way, if I load this save quickly, why the hell, when I'm defending a siege battle, can I not choose the type of siege equipment that we build? You know, like, I'm in here. This is my castle. I don't see, I can understand, like, from a game point of view, it's because, like, this is, the garrison is currently leading it. But this is my castle. Why can't I decide what artillery pieces we build to kind of counter defend this, you know? Why can't I decide to build catapults? I'd much rather have catapults than these, and we have plenty of time to build them. So that's another thing. Like, I should be able to choose what equipment that we build here, much like if I was in an army. So yeah, those are just a few things that I think are really kind of wrong with battles right now. And again, I don't think I'm asking for too much. I wanted to make this video and make it so that it wasn't just me like asking for like, oh, I want the world. I want to be able to deploy trenches and have soldiers kind of scattered in 60 different divisions and, you know, 360, be able to 360 no scope with laser guns. I wanted to kind of bring up some things that I think are completely reasonable with these battles and things that should be in the game and hopefully will be in the game. So yeah, if you agree with me, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Also, be sure to comment down below, you know, things that you think that are reasonable. Don't ask for the moon. You know, things that are reasonable but they could add in the game. And maybe someone at Tailworld will see this and maybe it'll start a bit of a discussion because, yeah, I don't know. I think these are maybe not easy fixes, but, you know, something that could dramatically improve the battles for sure. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.